Hey everybody, Dave Bazanko here for AI Lead Furnace, and we're going to be talking today about making better sales calls. So if you are new to HighLevel and you're a new HighLevel agency, or maybe you're an experienced salesperson and you've just discovered HighLevel and you're going to start your own AI agency, it can get really, really easy, as I have found, to get overexcited by just the vast amount of options that are available and opportunities that are available for your clients, that you can end up doing a lot of talking and they end up doing a lot of head nodding. And even though you might offer them a 30-day free trial, win-win situation for everybody, the client may never sign up for it. And over the course of the last year, I got very excited. I got my first 10 clients. It was fantastic. And, I'm on a roll. I'm feeling really good. And I'm thinking that when people are meeting with me, that they just want to hear all about my software services. And nothing could be further from the truth. I've had to go back to Sales 101. For me, that was integrity selling that I learned with Ron Willingham 35 years ago. And the methods still apply today. It's a 6-step sales process: approach, interview, demonstrate, validate, negotiate, close. And I will tell you, the biggest mistake that most salespeople make, and I still make today, and I have to remind myself, is to not talk too much, do 20% of the talking, 80% of the listening, because if the customer does not articulate what their problem is, what their pain point is, it doesn't matter how many solutions you throw at them, they are not going to buy from you. They're just going to go, that's nice, that's interesting, I've got other things to worry about right now, because they're really not feeling the pain. So my question to you would be, when you walk into a sales meeting or a discovery call, are you verbally throwing up on your client with everything that software has to offer and everything AI has to offer and everything HighLevel has to offer? Or are you being a good salesperson and sitting back and trying to do the best thing for your client, which is to listen to them, to ask open-ended questions, to tune the world out and tune them in, and then dig into those pain points? So in my situation, I'll ask a client something like, how many people visited your business last month? And of those people who visited, how many left without you ever capturing any information? And you just wait for them to answer the question. And if they said, oh, geez, yeah, like with wineries, they only capture 10% of the customers who walk through the door because they make a transaction or they booked a reservation. The other 90% come in, have a fantastic experience, and leave, and they have no idea who they were or how to get in contact with them ever again. The lifetime value of that customer has gone from potentially thousands of dollars to whatever that transaction was that day, maybe a bottle of wine, maybe a tasting, whatever. So what I would normally do is I would dig in on that question and say, okay, so you're capturing 10% of customers. What would it mean to your business if you captured even 30% more? The hardest thing to do in sales is to close your mouth and sit and wait for them to answer their questions. This isn't manipulative. This is simply saying, hey man, you have an issue. I asked you what the issue was. Now we're going to dig into that issue to the point that you have complete clarity. When I help my winery owners understand that when somebody comes into their place of business and does a wine tasting for, let's say there's 2 people, they do 2 wine tastings for $20 each, that's $40. Maybe they buy a $50 bottle of wine when they leave. Maybe they've spent $100 that day, but the POS system didn't capture all the contact details. It didn't give you any way to reach out to them in the future. And that's it. You have no systematic way of following up with them. You're too busy. You don't know how to put together a proper email campaign that captures, nurtures, and closes them at the right time of the year and asks for the sale at the right time of the year. Gary Vaynerchuk wrote a really great book called Jab, 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 Right Hook, which is simply give value, give value, give value, then ask. Give value, give value, give value, then ask. This is the way social media marketing works today. And you have to keep giving value, and at the right time, at the appropriate time, you ask for a sale. But in my case with my winery clients, if we capture everybody's contact details, and we do that through a capture form, and we run that through our CRM, and all of a sudden now you've got, at the end of the month, you've got 300 customers that you wouldn't have otherwise had. You have their contact details and some of the information about when they were there and visiting. Now you can nurture them and say, hey, here's the inside social, your social currency of what's going on at our winery that you can share with your friends. And then when you get to the point where, it's the appropriate time of year, you see case sales of white wines spark, or rosés and sparkling wines. They spike at the beginning of wedding season. They spike in the spring. They spike at the start of warm weather. In the fall, you see the red wines moving. And then at Christmas, you see cases of wine moving because people are buying gifts or they're going to dinner parties. And you need to remind them of why that special wine they had at your winery was the best place in the world and why they should buy it online. The point of this is you need to let the client actually think about the numbers, the volume, and what that would mean to their business. What would it mean to your business if you had 1,000 new clients in your CRM at the end of the year, and of those 1,000 clients, 200 of them spent $500 on a case of wine, one case sale a year? What would that revenue mean to your business? Let them think on that for a minute. Now, this is for a winery, but this could be for any business. How many clients are you losing, and what's the lifetime value of that client? So that first question is all about loss. It's like, let them feel the pain of what they're losing. The good news is you've got a real solution, but they're not going to want to even go down that road until they've actually articulated, and you can just say, hey, I just want to make sure I understand this correctly. You are only capturing 10% of your customers. You are losing 90% of them, and you are losing all that revenue that goes with it. Is that right? Do you want to fix that problem? Do I have that right? Put it on you. And when they say, yep, I do, okay. Because if you don't get to that point, there's no point in doing a product demo because they're not there. They're overwhelmed and confused, and you're way too excited and talk too much and spinning in circles. So that's been my experience with HighLevel. Another question you can ask is, if somebody called the business and nobody answered, well, what happens to that customer? Let them answer the question. Keep your mouth closed. That silence is awesome if you're in sales and you know how to use it, because it gets really awkward really fast and the client starts thinking about it. Yeah, well, they're going to call somewhere else. You're right, they are. So that's lost business. What an AI tool can do is it can book a reservation on your behalf. It can answer a question on your behalf. Doesn't matter what the business is. If you've got a schedule and calendar, it can do that for you. And then you can just sort of dwell on that one too. You can go down the rabbit hole and what if you even know how many calls you're losing. That's the wonderful thing about AI is that it gives you reports and it tells you how many calls, and once you understand, and if you're a high-level agency, understand this, because I didn't in the beginning. I was first told that the AI agents can handle up to 7 calls at the same time. That is true, provided that you have a number for each one of those lines. Now I think it's up to 200, which is insane, but when you're setting up the AI tool for the voice agent for any of your clients, recognize that it still can only handle 1 caller at a time. So you might need multiple lines to give it the ability to handle 2 or 3 callers at the same time. So just bear that in mind. That was a bit of a sidetrack. And then the last question I would ask. So the first question was really about the pain point of how much loss they're getting in the business when they don't capture customers. The second one was more a question of what happens when somebody calls and you don't answer. What happens when somebody calls after hours and you can't get to the phone? The last piece of the puzzle, though, is when somebody does come to your business and has a great experience, what's your system for following up with them? Oh, you don't have a system. Oh, okay, that's good. If you don't have a system, then you realize that every day your customer doesn't hear from you, and you don't have to email them every day, but that feeling that they had getting great experience from you, getting a great customer service, getting great hospitality dissipates with every passing day. So these are 3 pain points that you can talk to your customer about, have them articulate it. Once they've articulated, yeah, I've got these 3 pain points. I'm not capturing all my customers. I don't have a system to follow up with my customers. And I don't have a clue how many I'm not even connecting with because I was busy on the phone or we weren't answering the phone, whatever the situation was. It was after hours. If you can just dwindle or hang on those 3 pain points, boy, do you have a service that can help you out. And take one thing at a time. Do not, I will tell you this, with any digital transformation, and I've been doing them for 5 years, do one piece of the puzzle at a time. Make that a win and build on your wins. Do not say, here's the 15 things I'm going to do for you, and try to do those 15 things. It will be a massive lift for both you and your client, and it will implode on you. So hopefully from a sales perspective, that was useful. Again, if you want to dive into this in a community sense with other Canadian agencies and share best practices, feel free to join our community. You can do that by becoming one of my affiliate members if you're going to be using HighLevel as an agency. The description's in the link below. Go ahead and sign up for that. As one of my affiliates, you'll be part of our closed community where we really sit down and talk about these things and share best practices so that everybody, as a Canadian agency owner for HighLevel, is putting their best foot forward, and we're all going to learn from each other and try to make this, get our life back and make sure we're building the life and the business that we really want to have for ourselves. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And in the next video, we're going to be talking about using ChatGPT and Claude in parallel with HighLevel tools. Okay, see you in the next video. What do you think, Ralph? Was that a good one? Oh, was it super boring? I don't know. I think it was a good video. What do you think? You don't look impressed.